Welcome once again, gentlefolks, to another video for your German Bundesliga predictions. I hope you had a wonderful week last week, and we're going to jump straight into it, and we're going to start with Schalke versus Hoffenheim. Alright, so my predictions for the game Schalke versus Hoffenheim, I'm going to expect here. This one should be a close one in a sense. Hoffenheim, they're a little bit unpredictable, but I'm going to take Hoffenheim to win here. I'm going to see both teams to score as well. In terms of a combination bet, I would go with either team to win and both to score. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm saying here that this one should end 2-1 in favor of Hoffenheim. In terms of the handicap system, I'd go with Hoffenheim here to Hoffenheim. I'm gonna go with a +1 here for Schalke. Alright, that means that Schalke should not lose this game by no more than a goal. Alright, so recapping predictions, Hoffenheim to win this game and both teams to score. And in terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying 2-1 here in favor of Hoffenheim. And also on the handicap system, I'm taking Schalke at +1. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Schalke versus Hoffenheim game, and this is on Friday. And so we're going to move over to Saturday now, and we're going to start with Eintracht Frankfurt versus Bayern Leverkusen. Two teams that are a little bit hot and cold, unpredictable. Don't know what they're going to do on the day. That's how they've been playing. They're a little bit unpredictable, and so you never know what you're going to get from them, to be honest with you. But we're going to go straight into it, and for here we're going to go with I'm going to go with the draw here, expecting both teams to score. I don't think both teams to score, yes. Alright, in terms of a combination, I say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm going to take this one as a 2-all draw. In terms of the handicap system here, I'm going to go with a +1 for Schalke, not Schalke, Eintracht Frankfurt. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Eintracht Frankfurt versus Bayern Leverkusen. I'm talking Bayern Leverkusen. Alright, so I'm expecting a draw in this game. I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I would say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline from my perspective, I'm saying 2-all. And in terms of a handicap, I would take a +1 for Eintracht Frankfurt. Alright, we're getting $1.57 for that, and that's really good odd. Yeah, so we're gonna skedaddle over into our next game, and our next game is Stuttgart versus Bochum. Alright, so Stuttgart versus Bochum, and Stuttgart being at home here, I'm expecting Stuttgart to take care of business. Stuttgart win, both teams not to score, I'd say. And in terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline from my perspective, I'm saying 2-0 for Stuttgart. And on the handicap system, I'd go ahead and I'd take Stuttgart to win this one by a goal. Alright, so recapping predictions for Stuttgart versus Bochum, I'm expecting Stuttgart to win. And in terms of both teams scoring, I'm seeing no. Also, in terms of combination bet, I would go with either team to win and both not to score. And in terms of a scoreline, I'm saying 2-0 in favor of Stuttgart. And on the handicap system, I'll go ahead and take Stuttgart to win this one by a goal. Alright, gentlefolks, so those are my predictions for Stuttgart versus Bochum. Now we're going to move on to our next game, which is Werder Bremen versus Mainz. Werder Bremen versus Mainz. This game is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to take Mainz to surprise Werder Bremen at home. Mainz, I'm expecting both teams to score as well. And in terms of a combination, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take here Bremen Mainz to win this one 2-1. Otherwise, I'd say they win 3-1. Yeah, but I'm going to take them to win 2-1. On the handicap system, I'll go ahead and I'm going to take here Bremen at +1. So that's $1.42. Alright, otherwise I would have taken I'd go to -1 and I take here a draw. But I'm going to take this here +1. Alright, this means that Bremen should lose the game by no more than a goal. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Werder Bremen versus Mainz game, I'm expecting Mainz to win this one. Both teams to score. In terms of combination bet, I go with either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, saying 2-1 in favor of Mainz. And on the handicap system, I'm going with a +1 for Bremen, Werder Bremen, that is. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Werder Bremen versus Mainz game. And we're going to skedaddle on over to Wolfsburg versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. Alright, and this game now, I think this game is anybody's game, to be honest with you. Any one of these guys can win. The Wolfsburg, they have been, I don't want to use the term awful, but they have been very unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to get from them on any given game week. Yeah, that's how they have been. And so as a result, it makes it a little bit harder to predict what they're going to do. Yeah, you'd never know what these guys are going to do. Yeah, so that's how they have been. That's how they have been all season, basically, since the start of the season. Alright, so but for this game though, I'm going to go here. I'm going to take here. I'm going to take Mönchengladbach to win this one. Both teams to score, I'm going to say yes. In terms of combination bet, yes, I'm going to go with either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm going with 3-1 in favor of Mönchengladbach. On the handicap system, I'll take Mönchengladbach to win this one by a goal. Alright, Mönchengladbach to win by a goal. Alright, so that's it. So recapping predictions for Wolfsburg versus Mönchengladbach, Borussia Mönchengladbach, that is. I'm expecting Mönchengladbach to win this game. And also I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 3-1 in favor of Borussia Mönchengladbach, sorry. And 3-1 in favor of Mönchengladbach. And on the handicap system, I'd go with Mönchengladbach to win this one by a goal. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Wolfsburg versus Borussia Mönchengladbach game. And then we're going to jump on over to RB Leipzig versus Hertha Berlin. Alright, RB Leipzig playing today in Europe. So this should be an interesting matchup afterwards. I think they might end up getting a surprise result here. Yeah, I'm going to say both teams to score. I'm going to take RB Leipzig to win. And I'm foreseeing here a 2-1 victory for RB Leipzig. Yeah, 2-1. Otherwise, it might end up in a draw. You never know. Alright, so on the handicap system, I'm going to take here. I'm going to say RB Leipzig to win by a goal, but I'm going to take the draw here. So that's a plus one. Alright, so recapping predictions for the RB Leipzig versus Hertha Berlin game. I'm expecting both teams to score. I'm expecting Hertha Berlin to, no, not Hertha Berlin, RB Leipzig to win as well. And also in terms of a combination bet, I'd say either team to score, to win, and both to score. In terms of a predicted scoreline, I'm seeing 2-1 here in favor of RB Leipzig. On the handicap system, I'd go with a +1 and then for a draw in this game, alright, based on my predicted scoreline. Alright, so those are my predictions for the RB Leipzig versus Hertha Berlin game. And our next game is Cologne versus Augsburg. For this game, Cologne versus Augsburg, they have picked up some good form in recent times. They are playing well, and so they have managed to be doing well, and so they are doing pretty well for the most part of late. And so as a result, I'm going to take this one to be a draw, because I don't think Cologne is not going to be a pushover at home. So I think we're going to have a draw here, and so that's the reason why I'm taking a draw there. In terms of scoreline, I'm saying 1-1. Alright, so in terms of the handicap system, if you should go ahead and take something on the handicap system now, if you take a +1, if you take a -1 here, you're gonna have to select a draw. Alright, you're gonna have to select a draw, because this means that Augsburg would have started the game. No, Augsburg would win the game actually in a -1, because if you have a -1 here, that means that you're seeing that Cologne is going to start a game a goal behind, and if Augsburg scores, means there would be 2 goals and Cologne would be 1, and so that would mean that Augsburg would have won on the handicap system. Alright, so then so those are my predictions here. Recapping predictions for the Cologne versus Augsburg game, I'm expecting a draw here. I'm expecting both teams to score, and I'm saying that we're going to have a 1-1 draw. In terms of the handicap system, I'm going with Augsburg under the -1 system here, so I'm going with Augsburg to win. Augsburg to win under the -1 as in Cologne is going to start the game a goal down, and so it's going to end 1-1, and on the handicap system, Augsburg is going to win if it ends at 1-1. All right. So those are my predictions for the Cologne versus Augsburg game, and we're going to skedaddle on to our next game, which is Union Berlin versus Borussia Dortmund, and this should be an interesting one. Both teams, I think, both teams, one is ahead of the other. Yeah, I can just go ahead to the standings. I think, yes, Union is still leading. Freiburg, yeah, Dortmund is all the way in fourth. Well, not too far, but yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, managed to find a stoppage time winner last week against Bayern Munich. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Okay, then, so we're gonna head here, and I think Union is playing in Europe as well. I think Union is also playing in Europe, but it should be interesting. I think Union is playing in Europe, so I think both teams might suffer somewhat from a little bit of the midweek game in Europe. Alright, so as it relates to this one now, I'm going to say here, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go with both teams to score. And I'm going to go with a combination, either team to win and both to score. In terms of a predicted scoreline, now this is where it gets very tricky. In terms of a predicted scoreline, it's going to be very interesting, I do believe. And I'm going to go with a 2-1 for Borussia Dortmund. 2-1 for Borussia Dortmund. In terms of the handicap system, I would go ahead and I'm going to say Union to win by a goal, but I'm going to take this one to be a draw. Alright, okay then. So recapping predictions for the Union Berlin versus Borussia Dortmund game, I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of combination bet here, I'm saying that either team to win and both to score. And in terms of predicted scoreline, I'm saying here that 2-1 in favor of Borussia Dortmund. And on the handicap system, I'm going here with a -1 for Union, but I'm going to take a draw on the -1, and that's turns into a +1 here. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Union versus Borussia Dortmund game. Alright, and so we're going to jump on over to the next game now, which is Bayern Munich versus Freiburg. Alright, now mind you folks, this one could surprise us, as we might end up with a draw here. You never know, because whereas Bayern Munich is playing in Europe this week, you never know. Bayern Munich has been providing us with some surprising results based on their history over the past couple of years. The results are surprising, yeah. Some would argue that the league is getting more competitive, yeah, but you never know, yeah. So I'm expecting both teams to score here. In terms of a combination bet, I would say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I am saying here 3-1 in favor of Bayern Munich. On the handicap system, I would go with Bayern Munich win this one by a goal. Alright, so recapping predictions for Bayern Munich versus Freiburg, I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 3-1 in favor of Bayern Munich, and on the handicap system, I'm going with Bayern Munich to win this one by a goal. Alright, so those are the predictions for the Bayern Munich versus Freiburg game. Alright, and so those are all my predictions for this week for the German Bundesliga. I hope that you're taking notes, and as I say, I wish you happy betting. Continue to watch my videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so that you get these videos as soon as I publish them on a weekly basis. Share them with your friends and encourage others to come along and watch and support the channel. Thank you very much for your time, and happy betting and good luck. Thanks.